Shelter Insurance has covered a lot of miles and a lot of cars and drivers since 1946. We like knowing we have you covered, so you can just sit back and enjoy the ride. Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
Ask Agent Mark Manning about Shelter's auto insurance discounts.
Mr. John Chadwell, Newport Economic Development Commission in downtown Newport, Arkansas. We get to visit each and every month. Good to see you, my friend.
Good to see you.
Every month we come in, we talk about some of the busy times that we're having, and guess what? This month is the same.
It's the same.
It's busy.
It's busy. We talked a lot about medical marijuana last time, but that's really heating up. A lot of people looking at that. We've got our new business going in the old post office across the street. They're getting ready to open up Postmark Spirits.
Right.
They'll be making Arkansas vodka here in Newport. So they're getting ready to open up. We've got some of our existing industries that are growing and adding jobs, and so that's exciting as well. We see some new commercial construction going on, so it's good times in Newport.
It is. Hey, no doubt. When we talk about this a lot, we're pro-Newport guys, and we're going to get on here and talk about the positives of what is going on in the community. But there are things happening, and if anybody ever comes up and says, there's not much going on, I think we have a track record to prove that we're probably right and say there are things going on.
We are, and it's interesting that, it's normal. It's any town, but people outside the community see the growth and what's happening easier than people inside the community do. And it's kind of like you walk. You have something you need to fix in your house. Well, you start walking by it. After you walk by it for 3 weeks, you don't notice it anymore. But the person who comes to visit walks right in and goes, "Oh, wow, you need it."
It's on the list.
Sometimes with the good stuff, the same thing happens. We see the good stuff, but something happening. The new Sonic has been going on for so long. It's not new news.
Right,
anymore.
Absolutely.
Even though
we're getting a new Sonic.
Yeah,
y'all noticed.
So, there's all of this stuff going on, but we hear about it, and then that's yesterday's news in 2 or 3 days. But it all adds to the piece of the puzzle of what's going on. We've had 4 different communities come and visit Newport this year to see from Julie and I how we do things, because they see what's going on, they like what's going on, they want to see what we're doing and see if they can't find things they can copy in their communities. And that's a good testament.
And we get the reputation, especially even at the state level. I mean, people are noticing us at the state level and would say, "Hey, look, have you guys looked?" If some other town comes to the state and they say, "Have y'all looked at Newport? Why don't you go to Newport and look and see what they're doing at Newport?" Because they're doing things right there. We are doing things right in NEDC in our development of what we're trying to do in the community. We're doing it right.
And we keep hearing that from people at various organizations at the state, that what we're doing it right, that we're looking at the whole community, we're not just going chasing factories, but at the same time we're trying to get a factory in, we're trying to make the community more attractive so that we have, what I like to say is, a community is our product. That's what we're going to sell. So while you're trying to sell it, let's also improve it so it's easier to sell.
Right.
And one thing we're going to have to do is we're going to have to start selling it to people to live here.
Right.
Right now, 2,000 people a day are driving into our county to work and driving out somewhere else. And they take that paycheck home. They spend some of it here, but a lot of them take it home, they spend it in another county. If you look at our top 7 employers, only 33% of their employees actually live in the city limits of Newport.
Wow.
And only 48% live in Jackson County.
Right.
So let's just take that 2,000 people who drive in every day and drive home. What if 200 of those families moved? Just 10%.
Right.
It would be a huge benefit to our schools, to our churches, to our businesses, to everything else. So we talk to these people. Well, what are the issues? What do you feel like the issues? Some of it's perception. Well, there's nothing to do in Newport. Well, there's a lot to do in Newport. You got to be plugged in. You got to educate yourself. You got to find out. But there's a lot of stuff to do in Newport. But that's why things like the downtown project that Drive is working on are so important, to clean up the town, but also to give a place where we can have entertainment opportunities, where we can have an attractive area for people to go. That's part of economic development, because that makes the product we're selling better. The more people we get to move here, the easier it is to recruit a commercial business, because they'll look at how many people are here in the evening. If I'm going to open a restaurant, I don't want to just serve lunch.
Right.
I want to serve supper. So if I look at your town and I said, man, they'd do a great lunch because their daytime population is 2,000 bigger than their nighttime, but I'm going to have a hard time with supper because 2,000 people go home and they're not going to stay here and eat. And so we've got to learn, we've got to draw those people in. One of the things they're working on is the new park. They're going to have it ready for Depot Days in September. And we got 3 areas in the park where you can have bricks. We're going to have an area where you can have a brick to honor a veteran.
Okay.
So if there's a veteran in your family or just a veteran that you care about, you can honor that veteran by buying a brick, and it will be put in the Veterans Memorial. We're going to dedicate the Veterans Memorial with the first round of bricks on Veterans Day in November. So we are going to, probably by the end of August, those are the orders that will be guaranteed to be in the Veterans Memorial. Now, you'll be able to buy them later, and we'll take them out and put them out, and we'll probably do a new installation every Memorial Day and every Veterans Day. But if you want your veterans brick in on the very first Veterans Day dedication, then you need to get in to the Chamber NEDC office, get a brick form, and give it. It's $100 for 3 lines or $110 if you want 4 lines on it. Then we're going to have an area of the park where there's going to be about 1,000 bricks, and we're limited into 1,000. They can be bought to honor anybody. You know, you want to honor your mom, you want to do it in memory of your grandpa.
Sure.
And maybe they did. Maybe somebody in your family served on Quorum Court. You know, and so you want to put their name, Quorum Court, and the years. Maybe somebody in your family, you just want to honor them for a business they had in town. And so you can put their name, the business they had in town, and that kind of thing. Maybe you want to honor your grandkids.
Sure.
And let them have a place in the park for forever. We can buy one in their name, and you can put it in there. So, and then the third place, and those are $100 or $110 too. Now the third place is where we're going to have big brick displays. Your message would be engraved over a number of bricks, depending, and you got to give $5,000 toward the construction of the park or more, and you'll get a display. Of course, the little display will be bigger, depending on how much you give to the park. So if any of you just want to write us a $100,000 check, we'll give you a huge,
that's right,
huge display.
Well, and the thing that you mentioned is going to be there for a long, long time.
It's going to be there for a long time. We're going to have regular events there. We're getting too late this summer. Depot Days will kick it off. But then next summer, there's going to be 2 or 3 things a month happening in that park. There's going to be movies in the park. There's going to be a couple of concerts every month in the park. There's going to be all kinds of stuff happening in the park. And so if your name's out there, it'll just keep getting visibility. But you'll be able to take your family, your grandkids over and say, hey, look what I helped build. Look what I helped put into Newport.
Absolutely.
And that's important.
What do we have to do if we're interested in doing a brick? And folks, we encourage you to do. I'm going to do a couple of veterans, and then I'm going to do some in memory of also. And what do we have to do if we want to do one of these?
You can call up here and ask for Courtney or Lane, either one. They can email you a form, and you just complete the form. It's got the number of letters we can get in there. Complete the form, send it in with a $100 check, or bring it back. Or if you want to walk in and fill it out while you're here and give the check, that's fine too. We'll be putting the form on our Facebook page. We'll be emailing it out. Probably by the time you're watching this program, the email will have gone out. It'll be on our Facebook page, the Drive Newport Facebook page, and you'll be able to access it there too. So I'm encouraging, if you want in on the beginning of the dedication of either side, then you need to get your brick before the end of August.
Well, it's a great way to honor folks, no doubt about it, and it's a way that we can raise some money, some much needed money for something, because we're putting money back in the community. We're going to make this a real nice place for people to have more to do in Newport, Arkansas. John Chadwell, good to see you, my friend.
Good to see you.
John Chadwell, Executive Director of the Newport Economic Development Commission. St. Michael's Place in beautiful Newport, Arkansas. Jay Cox, Miss Rita Hill. And Jay Cox, we have a new administrator here, Miss Hill, and just introduce her and tell me a little bit about her, and then I'll talk with her and let her tell me a lot about her.
That'll work. It's good to be here. Good to have you, David, and Ben behind the camera today. And we're just excited about what's going on at St. Michael's Place. Lots of things happening this summer. We had a little bit of cooler weather this week, and it's always good for the fishing. Anyway,
Absolutely.
Anyway, we're glad to have Miss Rita Hill with us, and she's from Heber Springs, Arkansas. She's our new administrator. Tell you what, she's shaping things up. Now, she looks pretty and sweet here, sitting here with us, but don't let that fool you. She's the general around here.
Right.
But all jokes aside, we're glad to have her, and we'll just let Miss Rita tell you everything about herself.
Good deal. Good deal.
What's going on?
All right, Miss Rita, tell us a little bit about you, about growing up. And he mentioned Heber Springs. Tell us about that, family, so on and so forth.
I am from Heber Springs, lived there all my life. Beautiful God's country.
Yes.
Have the river and the lake. Been in the nursing home business for about 16 years.
Wow.
Prior to that, I worked for the health department and did a lot of hospice for the state of Arkansas. I am a Christian. I'm married, have 3 girls. My husband and I own our own business.
Okay.
He travels all over the state and out of the state. I'm glad to be here at St. Michael's. Wonderful, wonderful team here. We have made some changes, some good changes, some positive changes. We have some ways to go, but we're certainly getting there. Census seems to be picking up, and we certainly need census. We want to do the right thing for the right reason. I always say, if you do things right and you're kind to people, the rest of it will come.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I know you got to have a vision, and you have a vision when you come in here, and talk a little bit about, not necessarily where you are, but where you expect to go. Where do you expect to go with St. Michael's Place?
Well, we expect St. Michael's Place to be the #1 nursing home in the Jackson County and the Newport area.
Good, good.
That's my expectation. That's my expectation. Yes.
You have great experience. Talk a little bit about that experience and what that, and Jay says the general, and in any business,
Sure.
you got to have somebody at the top who is in charge. And if you're in charge and you're making decisions, and a lot of times you do have to make tough decisions, but talk about the day-to-day operation of what you have to do in this business.
Okay. Well, the day-to-day operations is really a whole lot of the team effort.
Okay.
I can't do anything without a good team. And, you're only as good as your team. So the team pretty much that I have here, they know what their jobs are. They know how to do their jobs. They're very good at doing their jobs. And so I kind of just cohese us all together and make sure we're all on the same page and the same vision.
And when you have that vision, you look at that vision and you come in, and you've only been here a few months, but overall, how's it going? What do you think? I mean, where are we?
Things are going good. We're very blessed.
Good
Very
deal.
blessed.
Good deal. I know it does take a lot of teamwork, and you got to tell me about your relationship with this guy over here, Jay Cox. He's
Jay's
still
a
here.
good guy. What can I say? He is a good guy. He works hard. He's certainly prominent in the community, and I appreciate that. I'm certainly trying to get out there and get my feet wet in the community. I've picked a local doctor here and picked a dentist already and looking for an eye doctor. So getting out there, getting around, and meeting some folks, and hopefully if anyone in the area would need rehab care, would need a memory unit, they'll certainly stop by and visit with us, come take a tour. We'll do whatever we can to help them.
Yeah, I think, Jay and I have talked a lot on the program about we just want a chance. We just want a chance. We want a chance to show our facility off.
You bet.
And I think once you come into our facility, if you haven't been in here in a long, long time, I think you'll find it a very beautiful place, and it's well maintained, and like you say, the crew is good. And
yes.
We invite you to give us a chance and let us try to earn your business.
Sure. When you put all the experience together here from the team, there's a lot of years of experience here.
Rita Hill, we appreciate you being in Newport, Arkansas.
I appreciate you.
Hope you're here for a long, long time. Great place to be. I've always said if I was ever going to move from Newport, Arkansas, the place I'd want to go would be Heber Springs. I wouldn't want to go Heber Springs. So 2 good places for you, and welcome to Newport.
Thank you.
Okay, let's continue on more of our show. We're at the White River Medical Center in the Newport Complex, and we get to visit with Hunter Finney, and welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
Now, Hunter Finney is kind of it's not a unique name, but I do know a Hunter Finney, and I happen to walk in the door, and I see another Hunter Finney, and I said, I know somebody named Hunter Finney. And you tell me what?
That's my husband.
That's right. So Hunter Finney is married to Hunter Finney. That makes it real convenient for y'all, doesn't it?
I tell you, two bodies, one name, real easy.
It is easy, isn't it? It is. Tell us a little bit about you. Tell us a bit about growing up, and tell us a little bit about your education. Physical therapy here at WRMC, Newport Complex.
So I'm originally from Bradford, so just right down the road. I did all my undergraduate work at Arkansas Tech University. And I did my physical therapy schooling at Harding University. I've been out for about 2 years. And I've been at White River since I've been straight out of school.
Good deal,
Yes.
good deal. So, tell me a little bit about physical therapy. We hear that term a lot. Everybody says, well, I got to go get some physical therapy. Tell us exactly what it is and what it entails.
Sure. So physical therapy is a specialized treatment that we use in some modalities to treat issues with movement and function. It could be due to pain, due to illness, due to some kind of injury, all of the above, or something else. So what it is something hurts, something's not moving like it needs to, and we're going to use specialized ways to get that back and moving, and hopefully pain-free.
I've had physical therapy, hopefully pain-free, and sometimes, and realistically, sometimes it's not. I mean, especially after some type of surgery and that kind of when you've got to move those joints, you know, a little extra, but certainly a good field to be in. And you also have some specialties in physical therapy, I understand.
Sure. I did some specialized training in vestibular rehab, which works with patients who have vertigo, dizziness, balance issues. And now I'm currently working on my certification in what's called LSVT Big, which is a specialized treatment for patients with Parkinson's disease. And I should have that certification done within the next month.
So physical therapy now is entailing a lot more than what it did just a few years ago when you had a sore foot and you went in and you got your foot worked on. Lots of stuff. Tell me about technology change. I mean, from even the time that you've been in, much technology from the time you started college until today?
Absolutely. You know, even when I first started college, it was all paper documentation. Now we're on these really fancy electronic records, which makes it real easy to communicate. I can see what physicians are saying about patients. In the hospital, I can see what nurses are saying. So that instant communication is so nice. If I have a question, it takes no time to get a hold of somebody to find out what I need to know. There's all these new specialized modalities, ultrasound, electrical stimulation that are now really, really big. And then dry needling, I know y'all have asked about that too, which we don't do, sorry. That's only at Batesville. But it's just always changing, and I really love where the field's going to.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, we're filming at the end of July, and we're not physically here yet, but we're coming. Tell us when we're going to be open.
We don't have an exact date yet. We will know this week.
Okay.
We're hoping within the next few weeks.
Maybe sometime in the month of August then, yes?
Yes, probably end of August, early September is what we're tentatively looking at right now.
Hunter, let me ask you this. Why did you pick physical therapy? Why physical therapy out of all the things you could have done in your life? And, we all have a story to say, well, I picked this because.
I love the way that physical therapy can use non-medicine techniques to help people heal.
Right.
I love being able to use my hands. I sit here and talk with my hands a lot. So it's really neat to have that different aspect to help people get better. You get to see people over a long period of time, really get to know them, they really become part of your family, and it becomes really cool to get that specialized care for them. The way I got into it was just from job shadowing. I had job shadowed at a therapy clinic in Searcy, had seen speech, occupational, physical therapy, saw physical therapy, and I thought, man, that is awesome. It's just so cool. And I just really fell in love with it from there, and I still just love it so much.
Now, just a person, we can't just walk in the door and say, I'd like to see the physical therapist. You've got to go see, what do you have to do to get in?
You have to go see your physician first, and they'll have to give a referral.
Okay.
For the Newport clinic here, whenever we get started, you'll have to send the referral to our Batesville clinic.
Okay, I got it.
And I can provide that number if we need it. And then you could call our Batesville clinic as well to schedule your appointment. They're going to do all the scheduling and handling of that business for our Newport clinic once that's up and running.
Well, there's no doubt that White River Medical Center is excited to have you, and then the Newport complex is even more excited that we have another Hunter Finney within the community, roaming around here and have two Hunter Finneys. And I got to tell this story. When Annie, who sets up all the interviews for me, emailed me and said I was going to be interviewing Hunter Finney, I said, well, I know a Hunter Finney. But this is a lady, so this obviously, they just happen to have the same name. And lo and behold, married. Hunter Finney is married to Hunter Finney.
Yes, sir.
Well, listen, best of luck to you, and I know it's going to be a great run here at White River. Congratulations to your new job assignment. I bet you do great.
Thank you. I am so excited to be able to serve people closer to my hometown.
Hunter Finney, physical therapy at the White River Medical Center at the Newport Complex. Jackson's Funeral Home, the 1900 block of Malcolm Avenue. I'm going to visit with Miss Dee Dee Dupree, and welcome to the program, young lady. Dee Dee, of course, she just said she'd been here for a few years, not just at Jackson's Funeral Home, but in Newport, Arkansas. And 30 plus years means you're a hometown girl, I guess you could say.
I am now.
For those of us that don't know Dee Dee Dupree, tell the audience a little bit about you. Tell us about where you came from, your education. Tell us a little bit about your family. Let's just start with that.
Well, I moved here 34 years ago when I met and married my husband, Joe Dupree. I've been here 34 years.
Right.
He was here his entire life. I actually was raised in Jacksonville. My dad was career Air Force and retired at the air base there in Jacksonville. And I've been in Arkansas since the 2nd grade and here since 1985. We have 3 children, grown
They're
children.
all grown children. Yes, they are.
Right. My oldest 2 are 29 now.
That's
And I don't know how that's possible because I'm only 28.
That's correct. That's correct. How does that work? How did that happen?
I don't know. And our youngest is 23. So
23. And the older 2 have careers, and
they do. One is a starving actor.
absolutely, and hilarious.
He is.
Hilarious. He is-
Anyway, and the other is in broadcast
That's correct.
journalism
Yeah.
in Tulsa.
Yeah, and it was at Channel 8 at one time, and of course Jim. Tell us about Jim and what he's.
Jim's getting ready to head to Kansas City and start dental school there.
Wow.
And we hope come home after he's
Absolutely,
done.
absolutely, and a guy wants to do that. That's what he
Right.
wants to do, and love to have him here. But I know you're proud of those guys, and we're all proud of our children, and hope they do great things in life. And sounds like your 3 are doing okay.
They're doing all right.
They are.
Doing okay.
Tell me about school, and you had some teaching experience. Tell me about
did.
college and
Well,
how that
I
worked out.
went to school not too far from here. I went to Arkansas College,
Right.
now Lyon College. Graduated with a degree in biology. I taught school. Well, I actually recruited students for Lyon College for a few years.
Okay.
Then I taught school for a couple of years. Then I stayed home with my children
There you go.
for a few years.
And fortunate to be able to do that. No
Yeah,
doubt.
I was. I felt very fortunate. But then I went to work for John and Rosanna Purdy at Purdy's for,
A long
gosh,
time.
10 or 11, 12
Yeah,
years.
Long time.
And found my way here to Jackson's Funeral Home.
Well,
My good friend Jan
Yes.
got me to come. So,
Well, tell us exactly what you do here. What's your title? What you doing? I know you do a lot of things, and you really help Jan, and I know that she's thrilled to have you. Kind of tell us about your experience here.
well, I came here to sell pre-arrangements.
Okay.
And that's what I do, but I also take care. Jan has 2 flower shops, one in Wynn and one in Harrisburg, and I do a lot of the buying for those 2 shops and just kind of oversee what goes on there. And my main job here is pre-arrangements, and I've since gotten my funeral director's license.
Oh, wow,
so
really?
I do a little bit to
Congratulations.
help with the funerals.
We've often talked, of course, we've been doing this program a long time, about pre-arrangements and the reasons why, but I mean, if you're watching, listen to what we have to say about pre-arrangement, because it certainly takes a burden off when you have to sit in the tables, you have to sit in the room here
Right.
to plan a funeral. Tell us a little bit
Right,
about
well,
pre-arrangement.
It does take the burden off the family at the time of need. It's really one of the most thoughtful things I think you can do for your family is to have all of those hard decisions made prior to your time of need.
Absolutely.
And aside from taking those burdens away from the family, it allows them to know that you've selected and have set in place exactly what you want.
Absolutely. In doing so, it makes it so much easier on a family when they come in and they know. I mean, there's so many decisions that you have to make
Right.
in planning a funeral,
Right.
and I know you guys are simply the best at that. But if you know all those answers up front,
Right, and you're not as emotional if
Right.
you do it ahead of time. You're not making emotional decisions. You're making very thoughtful planned decisions. And it also locks in the price of the merchandise and services when you do a prepaid pre-need.
So in other words, if you're paying for and do you pay that up front? How does that work? How does the payment work?
You can pay it all at once,
okay,
or you can pay it over a 60-month period of time. Okay. And there's no interest on your balance.
Okay. And then that locks in the price of what that funeral is going to be once you get it paid for. It doesn't matter.
On the services and merchandise. If you pre-arrange today and you die in 50 years, you'll be guaranteed the casket, the professional services at today's price.
So that's pretty neat to get it paid for.
It is. It really is.
Unlike a car, when you buy a car, you get it paid for, and it's kind of worn out.
That's
you need to try to get another one, isn't it? But I know you're excited to be here. Now, how long have you been here?
I was thinking about that earlier. I think I'm into my 4th year.
Wow.
I think so. And I feel really blessed to work here with a group of people that all work together. It's much like a family, and I've learned so much from so many. Chris Driver, Karen Hunt, Jan. Sure. I mean, there's just a lot of great people here.
When there is a funeral, and I have said this before, and I have been to funerals at a lot of different places in a lot of different towns.
Yeah, so have I.
And nobody does it the Jacksons way. It's just you guys do it right. And Jan says, I learned it from my daddy,
and she did.
She
just did.
But
she's carried it out.
She has she not? Yes.
I've learned so much just from watching them, and like you say, it's the attention to detail.
Absolutely.
And treating each family like it's their own family that they're preparing. And
sometimes we have sayings when you say our family serving your family. Mm-hmm. I think that hits home with Jackson's Funeral Home.
Yeah, I think it does too.
Dee Dee, it's always my pleasure to get to see you and visit with you and catch up about the kids.
I just loved getting to do this.
I know you do, but people may not know who you are.
That's right.
And I have sometimes people ask me, "Who are you?" And I say, "Well, I am who I am.
That's
I can't be anybody else."
That's
but enormous job responsibility. And I was going to ask you one more thing on pre-arrangement. If we have questions or we need some answers, what do we do? How do we get in touch with y'all?
Well, you just call us here at Jackson's, 523-5822, and there are any number of us that do pre-arrangements here. Myself, Jan, Chris Driver, Mark House, Karen Hunt. Wow. So just call and ask for any one of us, and we'll be happy to help.
Thanks so much. Dee Dee Dupree, a Newport girl for the last 34 years, and she came here when she was awfully young to have been here for 34 years. Let's continue on with more of our show. We were running into some audio difficulties, so we can only use one microphone here on the Dr. McDowell Show at Customized Vision Care, and that's this one microphone we have here on the table. How's it going?
That's great. How you doing?
I'm good. I know you have a lot of professionalism that goes on out here at your particular place of business, but this is not real professional.
I think the worst thing about this is that my bald spot is like really going to shine.
Mine too.
You can adjust that on the film though, right?
Well, I think what we can do is we can uplift us back. We've got a little app that it can uplift us back and make it look like we're in normal position.
Can you Photoshop me to look like Ryan Reynolds then?
Absolutely.
All right, then I'm game for this.
Well, listen, we don't have to do this interview like this, but we thought we would start out and try. How are you, sir?
I'm good, thanks, sir.
Good regular handshake for the day, and it's a Friday, and it's a hot scorcher.
It's a tad swampy.
Yeah, swampy's a good word.
Just a tad swampy.
Matter of fact, I wish you'd have brought your little device on. Where is the device? Somebody bring us the device.
Brandon, go back and get my little...
We want the device. Our little gun. It's okay. We'll just continue on. And you have a new toy that's actually...
I love it. It's all about toys.
If you point it toward my head now, I really, really think that it would be a little...
You are sweating.
Yeah. I don't know why. I think I'm nervous about the
interview. You're nervous about interviews. That's what it is. Eventually, over time, you lose the stage fright, and you become almost confident in anything you do.
You think I
give it some time? It'll eventually.
It's going to work out for me
one of these days.
This is Dr. Gavin McDowell. We're at Customized Vision Care in the Village Mall in Newport. And if you have horrible vision and you want it corrected, he can help.
I can, unless you get some of the cases where you can't. Thank you, sir.
And there are some cases where you can. What is it?
Dude, like 84 degrees. It was
84. Now point to the air conditioner, please, sir. What's it got up there?
58.
58 up there. Why are we not doing the interview up there? What's the camera doing?
So I just fried the whole film. Yeah. The system doesn't work
It
anymore.
doesn't work.
We'll got to do this all over again when you get back and find out it didn't work.
Yes, sir. Vision is our thing,
Yes.
would you say? How do
I
we
would-
correct vision?
Well,
Bad vision.
there's a lot of different ways. No, lenses.
Okay.
Lenses and surgery sometimes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I've been through a little both of that.
Even visual therapy. There's things.
Visual therapy?
Visual therapy, yes, sir. Just like any other muscle of the body, you know, there's
Never
muscles
heard
of
of it.
Really?
Visual therapy.
Yes,
Tell me about
sir.
it.
Well, look at it this way. It's mostly kids.
Okay.
Because in that malleable age,
Okay.
we can change things in the visual system. And the great thing about it is that a lot of the things can be worked with muscles to make things different. Because the things that make your vision clear
Okay.
is eyes working properly together,
Okay.
meaning being yoked. You know, they got to work properly together, give great tandem use of both eyes.
Okay.
And then on top of that, there's muscles within the eye that control lens. There's a lens inside of our eye that's shaped kind of like a disc plow, and the muscles are attached all around the edge of this lens, and the muscles can constrict and pull that lens to be flat,
Okay.
or relax and let it be fat.
Okay.
And that change in that shape of that lens will change your focus. So it's either at a distance or up close is how you change. Kind of like a pirate's telescope. You know, you got to get that.
I got you,
right
yeah.
thing. So that kind of works in the same manner. But there are some times where the muscles aren't, not that they're not developed well enough. They don't have the right tonicity. Is that?
Okay.
I'm
Yeah,
not trying to
that's
talk over
logical.
a head or anything.
Yeah,
but
that's logical.
you got to tone them up. You got
Sure.
to you got to do. Literally, there is an exercise called pencil push-ups that I'll have kids do. Basically, you just get a pencil and bring it in until it's blurry, hold it there, and push it back. And
Really?
Yeah, and it'll help build up the muscles, and also helps build the muscles to pull the eyes in and keep them, together. What's called stereopsis, and then or fusion, and then the muscles that work to keep it clear. Yeah, and sometimes we can work kids out of glasses.
Wow.
Now, the problem with that is some people can actually read, the research that this is based off of and think, oh, well, I can work myself out of glasses. I'm a 58-year-old man who I can't see up close anymore. Must be a muscle problem. No, brother, that's something totally different.
Yeah, it's not muscle.
That's called birthdays. And
Yes, exactly right.
That's going to totally change. But there are some people who can work vision therapy. Some kids can't. And actually, there's a few practices in the general area close to us that are dedicated visual therapy specialists.
Never knew that.
Yeah, yeah.
I never. Hope our audience knew that.
I seriously doubt it.
I doubt it. But visual therapy.
Yes,
and I
sir.
love the part about the pencil and we
Yeah.
have speech therapy and you have physical therapy and I like that.
Yeah, there's sometimes that glasses aren't the fix, and if it's not the fix, I'm going to tell you it ain't the fix. We'll get you the person.
I will say this, and I say this sincerely because you've been my eye doctor for a long, long time, and you tell it like it is. I mean, you just say,
Yeah.
here's what we can do, and here's what we can't do, and this is going to work, and this is not going to work, regardless of what you think, Dr. Black, because you've been on Google.
Yeah. Oh.
You've been on Google, Dr. Black.
Well, I had some experiences of that here lately. If you come in and tell me you looked at your symptoms on Google or WebMD,
And know what it is.
your bill just doubled. I'll tell you right now.
I mean, there's information out there, but it's not like getting a professional opinion from a guy who's had some training.
You know what? I know a thing or two, and I'll be frankly honest. And I'm going to give her a little overshare here. Had a patient very recently came in and had done some reading.
Sure.
And actually, to their account, had read everything there was to know about this particular problem.
Okay.
And while part of their argument and debate was sound, it was about 10% of the overall problem and fix. And so
Right.
it basically made their issue going to be much worse if we went that way.
Right.
And so, I spent a large part of my time trying to explain to them why they were wrong.
Right.
And I don't want to do that. But, this person I'm speaking of is in the medical field as well.
Sure.
He's not a doctor like me.
Right.
You know, he's not a real doctor like me. But anyway, in the medical field. And so it was one of those things where I know what I know.
Right.
But I also know which pools not to pee in.
Sure.
I have patients come in here all the time with diabetes, high blood pressure, a lot of things that may not necessarily affect vision, but can affect the health of the eye. And I tell each and every one of them as clearly as I can, listen, your blood pressure's up, or I'm seeing signs your blood sugar is up. Or I ask them, what's your most recent blood sugar reading, or what's your last A1C? If it's not right, I'll tell them, well, that's a bit high. But don't listen to me. You go listen to your PCP or your endocrinologist, whoever is watching that,
Right.
Because I don't want to pee in my pool.
Right.
I'm not going to pee in theirs.
That's right.
But it's like I said, I know what I know, but I've been around long enough to know what I don't know.
Well, and I'll say this about what's on Google or whatever, and I mean, it's just basically it's a set of rules. And I think you told me one time a long time ago that when you start looking at symptoms, if one person out of 10 million had this particular symptom, then it becomes a symptom on Google.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's one.
Well, that I think is more to the point of medication side effects. And
Right.
I very recently had another patient I was having to talk to about how they were experiencing a side effect with a new medication they were using. So therefore, I can't use that medication or any other medication in that family like that again. And I said, what kind of pie do you like? And they were like, oh, I like chocolate.
Chocolate, me too.
Well, what pie do you not like? She said, mincemeat. I'm like, okay, so if the first pie you ever tasted was mincemeat, you probably would never eat another pie again in your life.
That's right.
You respond differently to different things. But to go back to your point, the side effects thing. During those trials, when a new drug comes out, they have to go through extensive trials.
Right.
And during those clinical trials, if one person has a symptom of anything, they have to report it.
Yeah.
Now, you have to understand also a lot of these new medications that come out, there are older people who are going to be in this group.
In the group.
Some of these people are very old and pass away during the trial.
Right.
Guess what a side effect is on almost every medication?
I have no idea.
Death.
Death.
Death is almost a universal side effect. And watch TV tonight. I guarantee you will see a commercial for a new medication. One of the side effects will be, and even death.
And even death. Yeah.
Even death.
Yeah, side effects. Well, it's coming. That death thing. I mean, it's coming. Regardless if your eyes are good or not.
Amen. And my job is to make sure you're seeing well now, so that way you can prepare for the next.
I look at that a couple of ways. If you're in that particular situation, you probably save yourself a little money on what you have to spend at the doctor's office to get good professional training.
That's true.
But on the other hand, you're not seeing real well.
Yeah, not fantastic.
Not really
not
well.
Fantastic.
So how's the summer going for you? Everything going good?
It's busy.
Business is busy.
Yeah, business is busy, life's busy, everything's busy,
Good
which
deal.
I like. I mean, busy's a good problem to have.
We're located in the Newport Village Mall, and we appreciate all those who do business with us. And if you don't have someone that you trust or that you feel comfortable with, or you need to change, or you just need your initial evaluation, come see Dr. Gavin McDowell in the Village Mall.
I double dog dare you.
You are the best. You are the best, my friend.
I'm in my mind.
Hey, tell me how hot I am now, please, sir.
Hold on. I'll give you your chakra dot. 88.
88 and out the
He's
gate.
nervous still.
88 and out the gate. Dr. Gavin McDowell at Customized Vision Care. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you.
Lindley Health and Rehab Newport, Sherry Hanley, Jordan Price. Y'all know who Sherry Hanley is. And Sherry, tell us just a little bit about Jordan before we get to talking to her about what her expertise is here.
Well, Jordan is a member of our Lindley family, Team Lindley, yay. She is actually in our therapy unit, does an amazing job. She's kind of like the class clown. She's a lot of fun to be around. The residents love her, and they have so much fun with her. And I'll let Jordan kind of tell us, everybody, what she does here and how much fun we have here.
Well, and before we get into that, tell us a little bit about you. Tell us about where you're from, where you grew up, graduated. Tell us a bit about education, so on and so forth. Tell us a little bit about you.
Well, I grew up in Wynn. I'm from Wynn originally. Grew up there, born there, everything. Went to high school there. Went to school in Jonesboro. Didn't really know what I was going to do, so it took me a little bit to get going. But then I ended up going to A-State's physical therapist assistant program and graduated there last May.
Why physical therapy?
why not?
Yeah, that's a
You
good
know,
that's a
I
good
love it.
answer.
I absolutely love it. I enjoy getting to help these people get back to their optimal level, get back to where they need to be, and it's one of the most rewarding things that you can do. To see
Let me ask you this: did you know that, or did you? I mean, when did you know you wanted to, number one, be in physical therapy, and number two, want to work in a nursing home?
Well, I knew that I wanted to do physical therapy whenever I worked as a personal trainer at 10 Fitness.
Yeah.
And I started having some geriatric clients. I never really knew that I wanted to do it exactly, but then I got into the program, and we get to do different clinical settings. So I went to an outpatient clinic, I went to a peds clinic, and then I ended up being in a nursing home. And I was scared to death of being in a nursing home.
Really?
It terrified me. And then I got there and I cried when I left. It was a
Really?
5-week rotation, and I did not want to leave.
Is that right?
Yep. And I was like, all right, no kids, nothing else. I want to go to geriatrics.
Wow. And how long have you been here, and how did you get here? How did you get at Lindley?
Well, I've been here since last July.
Okay.
Last July, middle of July.
Okay.
And it was just, I had just taken my boards, gotten the news that I passed my boards, and that was a party in itself, you know. But then I got an email that was saying, you know, hey, we're looking for, we have a spot here. Do you think, you know, you want to be a part of the team? Came in, interviewed, loved it, been here ever since.
Tell me a little bit about what you actually do on a day-to-day basis. What's it like on a day-to-day basis here at Lindley in the physical therapy department?
Well, most of us get here, I get here around 6 in the morning. Usually I try to time what time I get here and what time I leave with the 6 to 2 shift.
Okay.
Because they're getting up in the mornings. If they ever need help getting up, we go in there and we help them get up. If people are awake from about 6 to 7, we have an hour to where we can, you know, work with the early birds. There's always some people that want to come in and drink their coffee and do their therapy and get done. Then during the morning we work with absolutely anybody that has therapy, you know, and do any kind of balance exercises, any kind of just general strengthening, working on getting in and out of the bathroom, in and out of the shower, whatever we need to do. So.
Generally speaking, when you're talking about your patients and being in a nursing home, and I know you do short-term and long-term, and are the folks generally receptive to the therapy? Do they enjoy the therapy?
Yes. Every once in a while we get somebody that's just kind of like, man, I'm tired, I don't want to do it,
Sure.
you know, and that takes a little bit of finagling your way to figure out how to work with each person. But yeah, mostly everybody loves it. Once they're here for about a week, it takes them about a week, and they're like, oh, what are these people doing? And then it's like, okay, all right, we're good, let's go.
And then it makes them feel better once they get into the routine. They feel
yeah.
so much better.
Oh yeah, the routine is key. If you work with somebody every day at 6, you work with them at 6. If you work with somebody every day before lunch, usually you need to work with them before lunch. If not, their whole day's gone.
It sounds to me like you just have a blast doing your job.
I absolutely love it. People tell me that, you know, whenever I talk about my job or whenever I tell them what I do, they're like, well, you sound like you're having so much fun. You know, what do you actually do? And I kind of go into the spiel I just told you. But if you don't love what you do and you don't look forward to getting up every day and going to your job, you're working. I'm not working. I
like
love
that. I like that.
I love it.
Tell me a little bit about the Lindley family. Tell me how you feel about the Lindley family.
Ever since I started working here in July, it was my first job out of college, and I was absolutely nervous. I was so nervous because I'm like, okay, I know what I need to do. I know how to do it, but, you know, it's kind of still getting in the groove of things. But I can't imagine working anywhere else. Everybody here is like, it's like a family. You know, I know everybody's name now. It took me a while, but I know everybody's name, from CNAs to nurses all the way up to administration. I know everybody here will say hi. Everybody here will work together and get just anything that needs to get done, we get it done. And we get it done and we have fun at the same time.
Yeah, no doubt about it. But before we get out here, I want you to introduce us to what looks like a stuffed puppy down here. And this is actually not a stuffed puppy. This is a beautiful little puppy. Tell me about this puppy.
This is Boog, and he is my puppy dog. He is my fur child. And he has such a docile temperament. He is a Corgi and an Australian Shepherd mix.
Wow.
And if you have a ball in your hand, he will throw it, or you will throw it until your arm falls off, because he will go get it. he's so docile, and he just loves to come to work with me. You know, he's never been through any kind of formal training, but you come in here and you know he's a therapy dog.
Sherry, I think y'all have done okay with this hire at Lindley. I think this young lady's going to do wonderful things, not only for Lindley, but certainly for the residents.
For the residents. And the residents, they absolutely love Jordan. They love everyone in our therapy department, and they love Boog. And he loves them too.
Oh, yeah, he definitely loves it. He loves it here.
Well, Jordan, we appreciate you taking time to visit with us today. Sounded to me like the physical therapy department here that's where it's going on right here.
That's the happening place.
Lindley Health and Rehab. If you need our services, you can call, you can come by, you can come visit with us, and I promise you'll always see a happy smile here at Lindley. Thanks, ladies.
Thank you.
Visiting with Sheila Gates at Eagle Mountain Assisted Living in Batesville, and Sheila's been on this program several times. We welcome you back to the Business Spotlight.
Thank you, David.
We got to find out a little bit about some rare openings that we have here. We'll talk about that in just a little bit, but first of all, tell me a little bit about Sheila Gates and tell me a little bit about you and your responsibility here at Eagle Mountain Assisted Living.
Well, David, currently I am the administrator. I've been in this position for about 4 years now. I actually began employment with Eagle Mountain in 2006, so I've been here actually since before we even started taking residents. Therefore, we have been open for, a little over 11 years. We are approved for 58 residents, and we have 46 suites here at Eagle Mountain. We actually provide care to primarily seniors or elderly disabled. We help with activities of daily living, medication administration, transportation. We provide 3 meals a day, 3 very good meals a day. Currently, we do have some availability, which is really rare. Typically, we're always full. We still have a waiting list. We have several on the waiting list, but they're just not ready to come right now. So
sure.
Just kind of getting the word out there that we would be glad for people to come in and have a tour and sit down and learn what we're all about, and just...
Sheila, I want to say this, and in turn, and I have toured the facility here, and it's number one, it's in a beautiful neighborhood. It is on top of the mountain. It is a gorgeous facility. Talk a little bit about the differences of being at home, being here, and not that this is a transition place, but this is not a nursing home. It's not a
Correct.
nursing home.
No.
But this place provides lots of services that you would get, and it keeps people, and not that we're against nursing homes, but it keeps you with a little bit more independence. Talk a little bit about that, how important that is.
That is very independent. We are in between the care that you might provide in-home services and what you get if you were going to a nursing home. We're ALF 2, which is Assisted Living 2, which means that we have people that range from still pretty much independent that might actually still drive to people that do need help with all those activities of daily living, which is assistance with bathing, grooming, toileting, those types of services. Probably one of the biggest things when people realize that they're no longer able to live in their home, they start getting socially, they're not very, they have no one to socialize with, no one to talk to. So that's a biggie. Also, medication administration, they start messing up on their medications. Sure. They no longer know when to take them, or they take too many. That is a service that we provide here. As well as eating right. They're at home, they're alone, they don't cook, they just grab whatever.
I do think that when we become caregivers for our parents or our grandparents or whatever, we want to provide them with the best services, and we want them to be safe. We want them to be safe and secure, and that's
Absolutely.
what assisted living, especially at Eagle Mountain, provides is a safeness, a social part, a get-together, whether it's a bingo game or a movie or whatever the case may be. But there's a lot of socialization that goes on here.
Yes. And I mean, that plays a big part in your overall health. You know, if you are happy and, you know, your mind is being stimulated, then that actually can help improve physical conditions as well. We would just invite anyone that would, like I said, want to come and have a tour to our facility, see what we're about, you know, introduce them to the staff, let them meet some of the residents. Our residents are actually some of our hugest fans and our best salespeople.
Best salespeople, no doubt.
I think they've all learned the term of, if you can't be at home, this is where you want to be.
This is where you want to be. And it's just not for Batesville. There are several counties that we try to include, that people that could come here, and again, such a rare opportunity, I would say, because we don't have openings very often, and we have a few openings right now. And as you say, they're a waiting list, but the people are on the waiting list, and they're assuming that they're going to be able to get here at some time, but they're just not ready. So we do have a few openings, and what do we do? How do we get in touch with you guys? How do we call? Who do we call? What do we do if we have information that we need to ask y'all for y'all to provide us some more information?
We can be emailed. In fact, I do. Okay. You know, often get an email just, you know, requesting information, maybe some pricing information, and I will just send them, you know, copies of our amenities and our services and some pricing. Or you can just always call 870-612-8700, and all of our staff is pretty familiar with giving tours and answering that information. If they don't feel comfortable with answering it, then they will refer it to someone that can.
And I do.
And we welcome tours, scheduled and unscheduled. Sure. I mean, often we have people walk in through the front door and say, "I would just like to see your building."
Well, when you drive through the neighborhood, and then you pull up to the front of the building, and you're going to go wow, number one. That's the first you're going to go wow. And then when you walk into this building, you go double wow. And then when you tour the building, I mean, it is just a beautiful, gorgeous place that provides some tremendous services to people that are in need of these services.
Yes, actually, people are typically very surprised when they often think that we're still a new building.
Absolutely.
When I tell them we're 11 years old, they're just kind of wowed that it still looks this nice after
it
that long a time.
It smells like a brand new building.
And that's another thing.
Yeah, it smells like a brand new building, a freshly built home, and it becomes a home for a lot of people.
It is their home.
Absolutely.
And
I did, just a matter of fact, I did Google Eagle Mountain Assisted Living. I just Googled that. The website comes up. You press on the website, you can find out a lot of information right there. So if you're looking for information about us, it's on the web. You can call us at that number, and of course it'll give you some email addresses to get in contact with us. But we encourage you, if you think you need any of our services, please give us a call. Please come by for a tour. Please just look us up on the internet and get all the information there, and we can provide you with more information. Sheila Gates, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, David.
All right, let's continue on with more of the Business Spotlight here on Cable Channel 6 and Cable 15 TV. This is Mr. Tommy Bain. He's at Farmer's Tire Mart. I'm David Black, and guess where I'm at? I'm at Farmer's Tire Mart.
Amen.
Where are we located?
1501 Malcolm Avenue.
How long have we been here?
26 years.
Long time, isn't it?
That's wild.
That's wild. It's just a few years. You've been taking care of folks for a long, long time. And I guess if you've had a 26-year run, you've been doing some things right.
Evidently.
I think the customers have spoken.
Yeah.
The customers have spoken.
Sometimes they speak loud, too.
They do, don't they? They do. I know in any business that you get in that the main goal is to please everybody. Sometimes that doesn't work. Sometimes you just have some people that you can't please. But anyway, lots of things going on. Shop's busy, but we're not too busy to take care of you, especially when it comes to your automobile needs. And if you need some work on automobiles, some general maintenance, we're the maintenance people to get it done.
That's right. It is just come see us. Call for an appointment if you need an appointment. You know, it's going to take longer than a few minutes, you know. Call for an appointment. We'll set you a time. Come in, we'll get to you pretty readily.
What do most people generally ask for when they call for maintenance? I mean, in your business, looking back the last 26 years, oil changes to what's the busiest thing you do?
Oil changes and alignments.
And alignments, okay,
and brake work.
Okay.
It's a mixture of things, and So we try to accommodate by setting aside time just to do that.
Sure.
And it's a lot of fun and games.
It is that, isn't it?
It is.
You ever get anything that kind of stumps you and you go, well, I'm really not sure on that. Just, because when you're working with automobiles, it's not like a doctor can work with a patient where the patient can say, here's what it is.
What's the matter with you?
Yeah, what's the matter with you? But you can, as a car owner, come in and kind of tell you about, well, I got a little squeak, or I got a little rattle, or, what's difficult to diagnose in y'all's business?
Electronics.
Electronics, yeah.
Got that light on my dash.
Yep.
And sometimes those are really difficult.
Yeah, check engine lights especially, which come on every automobile that I've ever seen that gets a certain amount of age. And most of the time it's a sensor and it doesn't need any check engine on. You don't need to check your engine. But so I guess people come in and say, could you check my engine? Because my check engine light came on.
Yeah.
And everything's computerized anymore. It's changed quite a bit in 26 years, has it not?
It has. It really has. We've done our level best to keep up with the changes, and I've got the best. And I don't put him second to none. I've got the best alignment men that there is around.
Is that right? And when they're good, they're good.
When they're good, they're good. Bruce had been with me 21 years, so he's got his nest swallowed out.
Yes.
And he knows what he's doing. I don't have to second guess him.
Right, absolutely. He's gonna get it done right, isn't he?
He's gonna do it right.
I know just my vehicles, and y'all service my vehicles for years, and Bruce he's always on top of, if it's not this, it could be this, and if it's not that, I know it's this.
Yeah.
He might say, I'm not sure what it is, but I can tell you if it's not this, it's definitely going to be this, and that's just knowledge and experience, and he's got a lot of it.
Absolutely, and there is, even with the modern age electronics and technology, there's still a place where you have to do a process of elimination.
Absolutely, sure.
And it's here, and we have to deal with what we got.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I guess if a man or a lady, if you needed a set of tires, I guess for your four-wheeler or your boat trailer, or I guess you guys y'all sell some tires, don't you?
Lawnmower, forklifts.
Yes, sir. I never thought about that. Forklifts, they gotta have tires.
They gotta have tires.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. And truck tires, I know y'all sell a bunch of truck tires.
A bunch of truck tires.
Yes, sir.
Yes. And we've got a man out right now putting a new backhoe tire on. So
backhoe.
We do those too.
A lot of things use tires. A lot of machines use tires, do they not?
Everything that rolls.
Everything that, I like that. Everything that rolls.
Everything that rolls.
Everything except a marble. If it's a machine and it rolls, it's got to have tires.
Got to have tires.
Absolutely, absolutely. We invite you by, folks, to do a little business with us here at Farmer Tire Mart. I've been doing business with them for years. I've never had a bad experience here. And I've been in here time after time after time after time again, whether it's tires, whether it's working on my car, whether it's an oil change, whether it's an alignment, whatever the case may be. And in my 26 years of doing business here, I've never had a bad business experience with you, sir. And I will say, if you're not doing business with Tommy Bain and Farmer's Tire Mart, you need to be.
Amen. And I want to tell you the method that I use. I want to treat people the way I want to be treated.
Absolutely.
And that works.
Well, you've done that for me, my friend. Good to see you, Tommy Bain. Tommy Bain, Farmer's Tire Mart, where?
The rubber meets the road.
We're at Merchants and Planners Insurance and Investment Services, and a new face to M&P, not a new face to Newport, Arkansas. Donnie Washam, my friend, good to see you, sir.
You too.
Now, tell us a little bit about you. For those people out there that don't know the Washam name, tell us a little bit about you. Been here a long, long time. Family been here a long, long time. Tell us a little bit about Donnie Washam.
Lived my whole life in Newport. My mom, dad, Don, and Kim. My mom and grandparents had Nanny's Bakery. A lot of people probably remember that.
Absolutely.
Downtown. I went to school here. My sisters both graduated from here. My grandparents graduated from here. Had an aunt, my mom's sister, is an educator here. Her brother was a coach and an educator here, so I've got roots here, and I love it here.
It's a good place to be. There's no doubt about it. Now, you're new to this business. Tell us a little bit about what you have been doing, and then tell us a little bit about the career change.
Well, I worked for Union Pacific Railroad for about 14 years, and I'm 40 years old, and, you know, some opportunities came, and I decided to take a jump, you know.
Yes, sir.
You just got to jump.
Yes, sir.
Believe in yourself, and the good Lord, I think, put those opportunities in front of me, and I'm going to try to take advantage of it.
I don't blame you, my friend. Well, there's no doubt that a lot of us, I think, will look at career changes from time to time, but you got to have a little faith in what you're doing, and then there's no doubt you work for a tremendous organization. Tell us exactly what you do here and your job responsibilities here, Donnie.
I'm a producing agent. I sell. I'm licensed for property and casualty, which includes commercial business, which I haven't dug into that really deep yet. Got a lot of talent here. It's unbelievable. I just couldn't believe the knowledge that's in this office right here. Commercial and personal lines insurance, but I'm selling mainly right now. I'm selling home, auto, boats. Four-wheelers, you know.
Yeah.
But I'm going to get into the commercial side a little more as I get more experience in this. It's a little more complex on that side, but I'm excited.
I bet you are. A lot of training involved in getting licensed and test examinations, and no doubt it's a rigorous program. Not anybody can sit in this chair, no doubt.
It was pretty tough. It's surprisingly tough, you know. When I got out of college, I worked for Modern Woodman, and I had my life and health, but I was young and kind of immature, so I knew that, you know, I knew kind of a little bit about insurance in general, but this is a whole nother, it's just a whole nother ball game, so.
And it's changed a little bit over the years, there's no doubt.
Right. I came up here for a couple of months and, you know, just experienced the atmosphere. Like you said, these people are just, I've been here officially a little over 2 months, and I feel like, they're just like family, you know. So I came up here and trained for, 2 months, and then I was studying for my test, and then once I passed, I officially hired on, so.
Yeah, and I know this, that with the excitement that you have and the people that you know, there's no doubt that you're going to have a great success in this business. I wish you well. I wish you well, my friend.
I appreciate it. I hope you're right. I want to do my best. I do know that.
Yes, sir. I do want to get off course since we have a little extra time here on the interview, and I want to talk a little about you and your love of sports, and I want to talk a little bit about, and we just talked about your relationship with Coach Kenny Black. Talk a little bit about that relationship.
Oh, that's easy. I grew up behind Coach Black on Dow Street, and Coach lived on Christie, and I was about 7 years old probably when we were out exploring the neighborhood, me and Billy Keaty, Brad Kiefner, Jeremy Williams, Andy May, who works here.
Yeah.
We all grew up within 100 yards of each other, so Ryan Rayna. But anyway, we'd always have pickup ball game of basketball, baseball, mostly baseball, wiffle ball. And everybody, you know, kind of break off and go home for lunch or whatever, their chores. And I always went straight to Coach Black. So he's got a baseball card collection that would just knock your socks off. And he taught me so much about baseball history.
Yes, sir.
And I'm a sponge. I love to learn. So, at 7, 8 years old, I was in there and he sat in there for hours and hours and
spent a little time with you.
He spent a lot of time with you. Matter of fact, Melissa and Brad, my sister, Brad Kiefner, and Melissa live around the corner.
Right, yeah.
From where Coach Black did live. And Reese, their son, who I'm close with, my nephew, he loves ball too. And about 3 years ago, I took him over, Coach Black's. I called him. I said, I said, I want you to go meet somebody. And he said, well, I know him, but not very well. And he took him back there, and he started in his, and of course, Reese, he's like me, likes to learn and loves history.
Yes, sir.
And history of sports. And so it was good to see that. But Coach Black is, the epitome of what this town's about. So I hate it that he's gone. I understand why.
Right.
But,
you got grandkids. But I'm telling you, he'll be back. He'll be back. He'll be back.
I miss him. I miss him.
I know you do. Donnie, and the love of sports, and we've got another minute or so here. Your love of sports is like my love of sports. I mean, it's just it's our passion. Talk a little bit about your passion for sports.
Well, I grew up, I was 5 years old. We didn't have a pitch machine. We started right on that didn't have T-ball. We started right on that big red levered
pitch
machine. And my dad coached, and Coach Keedy coached, and Brad, Randy Kiefner and Bob Kiefner, all these men that, all of our dads were such a big part of our sports, our lives, obviously, but our rearing out there on the ballpark. So it started from there, and I mean, I'm a Cub fan. Don't hold that against me, please. But I'm not a fair weather. I've loved them since the mid '80s. We had TBS, WGN.
That's right.
And you were either a Brave, Cardinal, or Cub fan, and my dad was a Cub fan, so
it's okay.
He and I would, they didn't have lights till the late '80s, and we'd watch in summertime if he ever got off or whatever. We spent a lot of time watching Cubs baseball. So I've just always loved sports and competing, and now I have 3 children, and they love sports. And I didn't know if that would happen, but
yes, sir.
I'm thankful.
I bet you are.
I'm thankful. So now I'm coaching them and working with them. So it's like I'm getting to relive my childhood.
Absolutely. Well, listen, congratulations on your new job adventure. I think you will be highly successful. Folks, if you have any questions for Donnie here at M&P Insurance and Investment Services, we ask you to come by. And if you've never been by to see our beautiful new building, we certainly encourage folks to come by, because this is a top-notch facility, no doubt.
I agree. And the people here are, like I said, so helpful.
Donnie Watson, my friend, good to see you, old buddy.
Good to see you.
Let's continue on with more of our show. We're at Unity Health, the Harris Medical Center in Newport, and we get to visit with new doctors from time to time. We have a new doctor today, Lindsay Hermits. Welcome to our program.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys having me.
Well, you're quite welcome. Tell us, first of all, a little bit about you. Tell us where you grew up. Tell us about education.
All right. Well, my name is Lindsay Hermits. I'm originally from South Alabama in a little town called Fairhope. And I did my training in Alabama as well at the Alabama College of Osteopathic Medicine, and came to Searcy for residency, and I'm coming here to Newport for our residence clinic every Thursday afternoon.
Wow, congratulations.
Thanks.
Hey, let me ask you this, and I ask everybody that I interview, and I mean, becoming a doctor takes a lot of training. I mean, it takes a lot of training, takes a lot of time to do that. You're in internal medicine. Talk to me a little bit about, number one, what internal medicine is, and number two, why did you pick internal medicine, and why did you want to become a doctor?
Sure. I actually originally didn't want to become a doctor. I wanted to study languages.
Really?
Yes, yeah. I was doing that, and at the same time, I was, studying my foreign languages and taking things like the nature of cancer and
absolutely
disease in the human body. So I was always very interested in medicine, and over the years, I discovered that was really a lot more my passion. And there was never really any one particular aspect of medicine that was really the main draw for me. I kind of liked everything.
Okay.
Which worked out well for me going into internal medicine, because internal medicine is a very broad spectrum, primary care type field. We see a little bit of everything, both inpatient and outpatient. So we see people in the hospital for whatever disease, whatever problem might bring them in, and then afterwards we can see them in our clinics as well. So we get to treat the chronic things as well and be the dependable doctor for you.
Okay, and you talk about, give me some examples of some chronic some
So
chronic
we're talking things
that
like diabetes, you know, we're talking things like managing your blood pressure, if you have a thyroid problem, things that, you know, a lot of people out there really have, and it's kind of a very common problem, and even some of the more uncommon things as well. But, you know, we like to see everybody and try and make sure everything is working together properly, that you're on the right collection of medications, that you're on the right combination of things, just so that you can kind of manage things properly without having too much interaction between your medications, between your different problems. So a little bit of everything.
All right, I've got to ask you this. Tell me how a young lady from Alabama gets to Newport, Arkansas. That's what I want to know.
You know, you look at a lot of places when you're looking for a residency, which is, you know, where you do your after you graduate medical school, you know, you're doing your last few years of training.
Sure.
You know, you look at a couple things. You look at where you want to live. You look at where you're going to get good education. And those are really the two big factors. And when I was looking around, you know, I went to Arkansas, and I really liked the area a lot. It was a big draw. People were so incredibly nice to me here. You know, it was just a lovely area. And then, you know, on top of that, you know, I kept hearing that, you know, we had such a great range of things that we got to see here, and we had some wonderful doctors that could help train us for the next round.
Well, Unity Health, Harris Medical Center, no doubt has a great addition, and you come in here, and we welcome you here. We're glad you're here, and tell me about hours of operation for you. You're not here a lot, but you're here some. And what are the times that you're here?
Well, you know, I'm here in Newport on Thursday afternoons. I'm here from 1 to 5.
Okay.
You know, I'd be happy to have any new patients that we're able to take, and that is pretty much the only day of the week I'm able to come right now. But we do have other residents coming other days too.
Absolutely.
Well.
Yeah, it's a good program that they have here at Unity Health at the Harris Medical Center. Lindsay Hermits, it's always my pleasure to get to interview the new folks and welcome them to Newport, Arkansas, and welcome.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All righty, let's continue on with more of our show. Unity Health Harris Medical Clinic, and we're joined by Dr. Randy Cooper. My friend, good to see you, sir.
Yeah, thanks for having me today.
Tell me a little bit about Dr. Randy Cooper.
Well, I'm born and bred in the state of Tennessee. I grew up mostly in the Chattanooga, Cleveland, Tennessee area. Went to medical school in Tennessee as well at the Bus School of Osteopathic Medicine. After there, obviously I'm here now in Arkansas, and I've enjoyed the journey so far.
Well, let me ask you this, and we always ask this, and I think it's real important to know. Tell me why you wanted to become a doctor and when you wanted to become a doctor. How did that work out for you?
Well, I'll tell you, for me, I was on definitely a totally different path prior to coming to wanting to be a physician. Before going to medical school, I worked as a pharmaceutical sales rep with Johnson & Johnson.
Wow.
I did that for 6 years, and it was just the interaction with doctors every day that really kind of sparked my interest into going into medicine. And so 4 years ago, I decided I would go ahead and try my hand at medicine. So been a good journey so far.
So you obviously, you're out, you're working, you're making a living, and you have to have I guess you would call that a career change.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So it's been quite good for you. Now tell me where all you've been as far as the medicine workplace.
All right. Well, yeah. Started off again in medical school in Tennessee. Did most of my clinical rotations in Tennessee as well. Okay. And as we're done with the 4th year of medical school, we start to look for places to really do our residency training. And so I looked at Arkansas and interviewed with a couple of the program directors at Unity Health, and really felt at ease, felt welcomed. And so I decided to come on to Arkansas to do my residency training.
Tell me a little bit about internal medicine as far as why you pick internal medicine as opposed to something else. Why internal medicine?
Yeah, the thing about internal medicine to me is that it is such a broad discipline to go into. I mean, we see anything from heart disease to diabetes, and we mainly see adults. And so just the broad nature of internal medicine really sparked my interest.
Family? Have family with?
Yes, I'm I'm married. I have 2 children. I have a 9-year-old and a 2-year-old. And my wife, she's going to be a teacher down in Searcy at Southwest Medical School.
Absolutely.
And she's excited to get started as well.
Wow. Well, welcome to Newport, Arkansas. Welcome to Unity Health, the Harris Medical Center. It's we like having new doctors. Hope you come in, get great training, and hope you would stay a lifetime. My friend, good to see you, sir, and welcome to Newport, Arkansas.
Thanks for having me.
Dr. Randy Cooper from Tennessee said he liked the Tennessee Volunteers somewhat, but he's going to learn to love the Razorbacks as we go.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the August edition of the Farmers Supply Association Jackson County Agriculture Report. I'm Randy Klepeczka, agronomist with Farmers Supply Association. Well, August is here. August is always my favorite month of the year. A couple of things going on. Harvest will be starting real soon, so things will start slacking up on my end. Plus, we'll get to see the benefits of what's happened during the year, what kind of crops we have. Of course, also football season starting this month, so a lot of good things happening in August. Kind of my favorite time of the year as we get into August and September. Going to update you a little bit on the crop, where we're at right now. We went from a real hot period in July, had a couple of weeks there that were really excessively hot, may have hurt some rice development on some of the early heading rice, hurt some pollination, hurt some grain fill and things like that. And we've kind of transitioned as we tape on August 2nd into a cloudier, cooler period. We're taping today with temperatures in the low 80s. Got some sunshine today, but they're forecasting a lot more cloud cover, some rain and things like that. So, that could impact our crops as well. We need sunshine to fill out these crops, rice and soybeans as well. So, while we want some periodic rains, generally speaking, and we got irrigation to cover for that to an extent, but we like some periodic rains, but we like them to get out of here, get some sunshine, have some moderately warm temperatures, and that doesn't look like what we're going to have, at least in early August. So, it remains to be seen how these things are going to affect our yields, but you look for some effect, maybe not tremendous effects, but some effects from the weather that we've had. In August now, as we wind down the crop, we're thinking about when can we stop irrigation. We've got 3 crops I want to talk about. First, corn. Most of our corn crop is made. Irrigation has been terminated on the vast majority of our corn crop. We got some late corn that still has another irrigation or 2 to go, so hopefully our guys will finish that up strong and get all they can from their yield with the irrigation and moisture that we need from that. As far as when to terminate irrigation on corn, we look at the developing starch line within the kernel. And when that starch line is at least 75% down the kernel, it starts at the end and comes down towards the base of the cob there. And it's about, when it gets 75% down that kernel and it's, it's hard on that upper 75%, and you still got a little bit of milky substance down there, soft dough in that lower part of the kernel. If we're at least 75% down and we've got good moisture, then we could terminate irrigation on the corn. Again, most of that has been done, but still a little bit to go on the later corn. Moving to rice, very critical on irrigation termination with rice. Not only do we talk about yield effects, but potentially quality effects, harvest issues if you don't drain a field soon enough. So it's a lot pickier to determine when to terminate irrigation on rice. We really want to do it properly, and of course a lot of other things come into play, such as weather and like that. A general rule of thumb, it's on the DD50 printout, is 25 days after 50% heading with our long grain varieties you could terminate irrigation. 30 days after 50% heading on the medium grain varieties. Those medium grain varieties are a little fatter and bigger around, so it takes them a little longer to dry down, so that's why we need to go a little bit longer on our medium grain varieties. So that's one rule of thumb. Another rule of thumb is how much hard dough you have on that panicle of rice. If you have about 2/3 of the panicle being hard dough, brown and getting pretty much mature, if 2/3 of the head is like that on silt loam soils, then you can usually go ahead and drain the field, terminate irrigation. On our clay soils that take longer to dry out, then you can do that a little bit sooner, obviously. If you get about 1/3 of that panicle with hard dough or mature rice, then you can go ahead and terminate irrigation. With rice, again, there's a lot more issues with rice. We also, besides those things I've talked about, we need to take into effect some other things, like what the weather is going to be like. If we're getting into a cloudy, cooler, rainier weather pattern, then you can terminate irrigation a little quicker. You know, if it's in the upper 90s and dry every day, then you need to hold that water a little bit longer. So a lot of things go into rice irrigation termination. It's not real cut and dried, maybe like corn and soybeans are. So we got to take all that into effect. And bottom line is try to get that field dry right about harvest time. You don't want it to dry out too quick, and at the same time you don't want to have ruts at harvest. So it's really a balancing act, and if you have any questions on that, I'd be feel free to call me and I'd be glad to help anyone on that. Finally, soybeans will be our last thing generally to terminate, although we've got some early soybeans out there, but generally the soybeans will be the last thing we worry about terminating irrigation on. We used to say growth stage 6 is when we terminate irrigation. That's when the soybeans were actually touching within the pod. We found out through research that you can go, that you need to go a little bit further with your irrigation. So we look at a couple of things. One is when you start seeing a little bit of color in that pod, you know, turning a little bit yellow from that real green color, then you're probably getting there. The other thing is to open that pod up and look in that developing soybean, and there's a white membrane in that pod that attaches that soybean to the pod. Once that soybean has separated from that membrane, it's kind of loose, you might say, within that pod, it's separated from that membrane, then you're definitely safe to go ahead and terminate irrigation there. So to me, soybeans a little bit easier than the rice on when to terminate irrigation, but anyway, you know, all these things are very critical as far as maximizing your yield potential, and also with rice, maximizing your quality. So, you know, next month when we tape, hopefully harvest will be in gear, and hopefully we'll be harvesting a real good crop. So be anxious to see what things look like in September. This has been Randy Kopechka with your Farmer Supply Association Jackson County Agriculture Report.
Let's talk sports with Bud Black, and I'm David Black, and we're going to talk a little bit about the Newport Greyhounds. Football season is here, folks. It's August, and it's just that time of year when everybody gets excited in the fall time. It is upon us, and we're excited about the Newport Greyhounds, and we've been talking about it the last several months. Visiting with Coach Mark Heisley, real excited about where the Greyhounds are going to be this year. The program each and every month is brought to you by the Bank of England Mortgage Company over in the Newport Village Mall. Kenny Thaxton's over there. His phone number is 870-495-3931. If you're in the market for a home and you've got to have a loan for that home, you need a good mortgage company, the ultimate professional in Kenny Thaxton. I recommend him highly if you're needing to borrow money on a home loan, or if you want to take out a home equity loan, or you're wanting to use some of the equity in your home for whatever the case may be. You want to put a new addition onto your home, or you just want to take a few $1,000s in cash and go on vacation. Talk to Kenny Thaxton. I bet they have real low interest rates, and they can help you get a home mortgage loan at the Bank of England Mortgage Company, member FDIC, and equal housing lender. First of all, I want to mention about Greyhound football. For the first time in 23 years, our games will not be rebroadcast on cable channel 15 TV on Saturday mornings. We just couldn't get it done. We couldn't get it worked out with Sunlink, but that's okay. No sweat. On www.cable15tv.com, the game will be on Saturday mornings, and it will be on by 9 o'clock. We're working to get the games also on YouTube, on our Facebook channel by that time, Saturday morning at 9. But it will be on cable15tv.com, and you can watch it at any time that you want to watch it, because obviously it's there. We embed those programs on our website, and they stay there forever. So you can watch it at any time you want to, but if you're one of the early risers and you like to have your cup of coffee at 7:30, 8 o'clock and wait on the game, you have to watch it on the internet this year. We will have the game on our cable channel, but it'll be during the week. We're going to play the game back on Monday nights, Tuesday nights, and Wednesday night. We're not completely set on the time, but tentatively scheduled as we speak. We're hopefully looking at a Monday night at 7:30, a Tuesday night at 7, and a Wednesday night at 6 o'clock for the Greyhound broadcast. Excited about the year that's coming up. Off a great year last year, a semifinal run for the Hounds. We're excited about where the Hounds are, about where the Hounds are going. First thing you have to do is you have to look at that schedule in August, in this month. On the 22nd, if you're watching after the 22nd, it's already happened. The Hounds will travel to Highland for a scrimmage. The scrimmage starts at 7 o'clock. it's one of those deals where your first and second teams are going to play a little bit in the first half, and then everybody's going to get an opportunity to play. All kids will get an opportunity to get on the field for the Hounds to see what they can do and see if they're going to be able to be used during the course of the year. Tough non-conference schedule. It's the same schedule we had last year. The only thing that's different are the home and away dates. Where we were on the road last year for a certain team, we'll be at home this year, and vice versa. We start at home with a couple of football games. A real tough 4A football team in Gosnell. Gosnell is coming to town. All games are 7 o'clock starts. That's on September the 1st. The next week on September the 8th, Greene County Tech comes to town. Hounds last year, 2 good football games that kind of gave us a gauge where we're going to be, and then a non-conference football game with 4A Lone Oak on the road to Lone Oak and then on the road to Hoxie. Lone Oak, the third non-conference game, used to be a conference game. That's also going to be a good gauge where a football program is. Hoxie will be the first conference game, and then Hoxie and Walnut Ridge back-to-back. Hoxie at Hoxie, Walnut Ridge at Newport, next game. And then we go on the road for a couple of games at Piggott, which will be a very tough place to play. And then we go on the road to Corning. Now, Corning has traditionally been a great program, been down the last couple of years, but seems to be back on their feet. They ought to be much improved this year. Then you come home for a couple of games in conference championships, riding on a couple of these games. How about Rivercrest and Osceola back-to-back just like that last year? Went on the road last year, lost a tough one at Rivercrest, won at Osceola. This time we get both of those teams at home. Senior night on October the 27th against Osceola. Then it's on the road once again to finish out the season. What was a heck of a football game last year, the Manila Lions, the Hounds, and the Lions getting together to cap the season off. So you get to play 10 regular season football games, the first 3 non-conference, the next 7 ball games of conference. Depending on where you land in the conference standings determines on where you play in the conference playoffs. In the championship playoffs, the 3A playoffs. Hounds are looking forward to getting back in the playoffs, looking forward to make a possible state championship run. I'm excited about it. Our broadcast team has grown this year. We're going to add Hayden Schultz to the broadcast. Looking forward to Hayden joining us. Of course, Brian Prince will be back with the color commentators. I'm going to do a pregame show. I'm going to do a halftime show, and I'm also going to do an end of the game show like we did last year, a coach's show brought to you by Subway in the Village Mall. So we're excited about Greyhound football. It's here. It's the month of August, and what beautiful weather we've been having the last several weeks. It's going to get hot on us again, and we're going to have some hot football games, but looking forward to the fall, looking forward to the 2017 Newport Greyhound football schedule, looking forward to the season. My 35th year of broadcasting, folks. I'm looking forward to the challenge that these teams will bring to us. The Hounds will be ready to go.